Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture where we are going to explore a bit more the add in shapes. I will create a rectangle. I have the shape tool and I will notice there is the add here and the add here. Let's click on the add and we find several groupings here. The first grouping is group empty. It means it will add a group that is empty. We have done this before, just one example. Then you have the shapes themselves, or in this case they are path. There is rectangle, ellipse and the others. Then you have the fill and stroke and the gradients. Then at the bottom here you have several properties that we are going to learn how to use. Our main interest is on the merge path, offset path, repeater and trim path. That's all, and then the rest will come along when we'll go through the course. Fine, let's delete this shape layer and go to layer and say new, and we create a new shape layer. This shape layer is empty. The contents has nothing, and just I have the anchor point of the shape layer. Let's go to add and add a group. So this group will represent a group of shapes. I will press enter and call it group of shapes. Okay. In the group of shapes, I will add, for example, a rectangle. Now I have a rectangle path 1. But actually, if I click out, there is nothing. I cannot see it. That is because there is no fill and there is no stroke. I'll come to group of shapes here, click on add and add a fill. Now my rectangle has a fill and the default color is red. I can come to fill 1 and change the color, for example, to blue or white. It will be better. Then I can come and add another one, which is the stroke. I will take the stroke, and notice put the stroke on top of the fill. Take the stroke and change it to dark blue, for example. And now I have the stroke width inside the stroke. I can make it bigger. Cool. So we have our rectangle. Let's make our rectangle bigger using the size from here. I will make it big like this. Let's go back to the toolbar, choose the rectangle from the shape tool here, and I will draw a rectangle. Now let's make a comparison from the group I created and the rectangle one creating using the toolbar. If I twirl down, you will notice I have rectangle path 1, stroke 1, fill 1 and the transform. My group of shapes also has rectangle path 1 and twirl down this one, stroke 1 and fill 1, exactly the same. When you use the toolbar or the tool shapes, you will be creating a group of shapes like the rectangle one, and inside it there is a single path. Let's delete rectangle 1 and take this one down. We have seen enough. I will come to group of shapes. I'm not coming to contents, be careful. I will come to group of shapes, go to add and add an ellipse. So I have an ellipse here that has the same stroke and the same fill within the group. Let's take the ellipse here. We can make it a bit bigger and we can move it to the side, for example, just here. Okay. Then I can come back and add another ellipse. And then the same, I can make it bigger, whatever the size is, and take it to the side. Cool. So I have one group of shapes that has a rectangle and 2 ellipses. And each one of them has the size and the position, and rectangle 1 in addition has the roundness. Cool. It's gonna be like this for all of them. And I have a stroke and fill for the whole group. Cool. I will come to add and add a merge path. I just want to know about the merge path. As soon as I add the merge path, notice what happened here. So it has taken the rectangle, the ellipse, and the other ellipse and made them a single shape. If you click out, you notice that the stroke now is a unified stroke if you want. And the option inside the merge path, if you twirl down, you have mode. The mode is add, meaning add them together. If you click on add, you will have merge, subtract, intersect and exclude intersection. If I use merge, now it has merged the 3 paths here into one single shape. And if you add more, a stroke and so on, it will affect them all like if you were a single shape. If you go and use subtract, you will notice that it has taken rectangle 1, the top one, and removed from it the ellipse and the other ellipse. Now, if you take the other ellipse, the ellipse 2, and put it on top, you will notice that it's taking ellipse 2, removing from it rectangle, and ellipse path 1, which is outside. So it's just subtracting one from the other. I will take rectangle and put it back. Also, you notice how I can click and drag them, put them anywhere I want. Now, from subtract, we can have intersect. Intersect is looking for the intersection of rectangle 1, ellipse, and ellipse 1. but they do not intersect. Let's take, for example, ellipse 2 and move it so it can intersect with the 3 of them. So notice here is looking for the intersection of the rectangle, the other ellipse, and the ellipse that you have moved to display only what is intersected inside the 3 of them. That's pretty cool. Let's return it and look for exclude intersection. Now exclude intersection is pretty interesting. It looked for the intersection of the 3 shapes or the 3 paths and excluded whatever is intersected in between them. Exclude from it whatever is intersected with ellipse 2 and whatever is intersected in ellipse 1. Cool. Now the merge path here, it is not fixed. I'll return it to add. The merge path here is not fixed at all. I can take the merge path and put it under ellipse 2. Now if I put it under rectangle 1, it doesn't make any sense. So now it has acted on rectangle path and ellipse path 2 and made them a single shape, and ellipse path 1 is floating. Cool. I will return it on top. Now something important and frustrating that I would like to point to you. When you click on a shape layer, then you double click, for example, you will be always double clicking to select a group. You cannot select a path. I cannot double click here to select this small ellipse. Every time you double click, you select a group of shapes or a group. For you to work with the ellipse or the path, you must come to the path here and start working from here for the position or the size. And this is pretty important, so don't try to select the path from the viewer. Fine, this is one. The second one that is very important, I always mentioned I'm selecting group of shapes and clicking on the add to add one of these. This is important because if you select the content and add an ellipse, you will be adding an ellipse inside the contents and not inside your group. So you must decide what are you selecting to use the add. This was the major things, and I hope I was clear. I know I was a bit fast or a bit slow, I don't know, depending on you how you like the lectures, but we have explored the add, and in the next lecture we are going to get serious and start making some real animations. Enough of explanation. I'll see you in the next lecture.